So today's video is going to be about affordable makeup brushes. I've seen comments here and there on other people's channels where people are really requesting additional alternatives to makeup brushes, affordable makeup brushes that aren't, you know, the typical MAC, which is expensive, Sedona Lace or Sigma. So with that in mind, I wanted to make a video for you guys that kind of talks about, that basically talks about affordable makeup brushes that aren't Sigma or Sedona Lace. And today I'm really going to concentrate on makeup brushes for the face. Alright, so the first type of brushes that I want to talk about are foundation brushes. I don't think that these are very difficult to find in the affordable variety. You can definitely easily find them at Target or CVS, and they actually go by two different names. So this is an example of a brush that I have, and it's from the Target Studio Tools line, which I think is basically the same as the, you know, Essence of Beauty line at CVS or whatever other name they give the lines at different stores. So it's a dual-ended brush, so you get a foundation brush and a concealer brush in one. So this is great for traveling. You know, it's pretty decently dense in its bristles. I want to show you an example of a really affordable one that I personally, sadly, I just don't like it. It's too thin, and that is the e.l.f. Foundation brush from the $1 line. I mean, look at that. I don't know. I just don't like it. But this one is a little thicker, so the foundation will go on and apply a little bit nicer when you use it. I got this one, and I believe it doesn't say the brand on it anymore, but I got it at TJ Maxx, and I want to say that TJ Maxx is a great place to find some affordable brushes. I believe that this is from the line Gotta Be Urban, because most of the brushes that I've gotten there are from that brand. This is an even thicker brush, so there's lots more bristles, and when I'm reaching for a foundation brush like of this type, I often reach for this one just because it's so thick. It's almost just as dense as as my Sigma brush. I mean, I can't really tell the difference. Unfortunately, because TJ Maxx has a very quickly rotating inventory, you probably won't go there and find this exact same brush, but you might find it in a different color handle or maybe a different line from the same brand. The reason for me sharing this with you is just to let you know that they are pretty good quality brushes. I really love this one, so you should definitely give them a shot. I've seen different foundation brushes by the same line at TJ Maxx quite often. So those are the only two foundation brushes that I have that aren't Sigma, basically. Alright, so the other kind of brushes that I want to talk about are blush and powder brushes. Two of the ones I want to talk about right now are basically from the e.l.f. Studio line, and you'll find these very easily at your local Target. They usually carry this is the e.l.f. Complexion Studio brush, and this small one is the blush brush, and it'll say that, it says blush brush right there. They're $3 each, so that is an amazing price. They're actually really super soft, and they're pretty dense. This one's obviously less dense than the big one. I love this one for the size because I can really kind of get in and apply blush nicely without kind of getting too much on. And I just love how soft these are. They're made of the bristles are made of Taklon, so they are synthetic, but they are super, super, super soft. And they don't shed, or I have not experienced any significant shedding, maybe one or two hairs again, but and that's when washing. I haven't had them shed on my face, which is really nice. I definitely think that the e.l.f. is doing a good job with their studio brushes. So another brush that I'm a really huge fan of is this brush. It's called the Coastal Scents Classic Buffer Brush, and if you look closely, it kind of, I bought it because it kind of made me think of the Sigmax line, but it's almost kind of the same idea. It's a really super duper dense blush brush, and this is the synthetic one. They have a natural and they have a synthetic. This applies product so beautifully. I love to use it for blush and for bronzer. You apply it, I basically just pick it up like a normal like I would normally do with a brush, and then I just kind of apply it. But because it's so dense, it just buffs out the product so nicely that it just ends up looking like it's airbrushed on. And then because of the size of it, the small one, you can really kind of get right into the hollows of your cheeks for your bronzer and really kind of blend it out and make it look seamless. And it is so soft. It's really super soft, and it just works really, really well. So I don't see why I should have to pay a boatload of money for a brush that's, I think, going to perform exactly the same way. $5 works good. I wanted to talk about this one as well. It is the Density Kabuki on a stick. And this one I actually got on clearance, and it is still available on clearance at Coastal Scents for $2.98. So basically they look exactly the same. They're both extremely dense. This one's just has a shorter handle, so it makes it better for travel. The only thing that I have to say the difference between these is this is softer. This one is soft right now. What I found is the more product this will have on it, the scratchier it starts to get. So I can get maybe about 4 uses out of it before it starts to feel a little scratchy and I have to wash it. But for $3, I don't care if I have to wash it a million times. Now the last blush brush that I want to talk about is again another one from TJ Maxx. This is an angled blush brush, and I got this again at TJ Maxx. It's from the Gotta Be Urban brush. And I got it and I paid $4.99 for it. It is incredibly soft. It applies blush really, really well, and it just feels really good on the skin. Works just as good as any angled brush. In fact, it's actually softer than my Sigma one. Alright, now I want to talk about the flat top powder brushes. I love these kind of brushes because they are amazing multitasking brushes. I'll use them for powder, I'll use them for liquid foundation, I'll use them for bronzer as well, because you can, again, with the kind of chiseled edge, just draw on your line and then buff it out. So anyway, let's talk about the actual brushes. You probably recognize the design. This is an e.l.f. Studio powder brush is what it's called, and it is the flat top version of it, and it is only $3. They sell this brush at Target, so you don't necessarily have to order it online unless you happen to be buying a couple stuff and you want to, fill your cart up and just do it all at once. You can buy this online. You can also get this at Target. You can't get all of their studio brushes at Target just yet. They kind of release them as they want to, so I don't know what their strategy is for it, but you can't get all of their brushes at Target, just some of them, so that's why I'm mentioning it, because if you don't want to have to order online, then some of them you can find at Target. Back to TJ Maxx, another, you probably recognize the design. I bought this one on the same day that I bought the foundation brush, and this one was also $4.99. Now it is, I'd say, a little less dense than the e.l.f. one, but I'd say a little softer, just a little, nothing to write home about. So if you happen to see a Gotta Be Urban flat top brush at TJ Maxx for $5, I think that they're very good quality. And then the last two that I want to show you of this specific type of brush, unfortunately, are no longer available. I bought them at coastalscents.com, and they were both on clearance. This one is softer than this one. Definitely, the bristles are just softer, it feels nicer, and I paid $6.48 for them, and I paid $3.50 for this one, I believe. And again, the prices were so good, I just had to buy them both because I couldn't decide. And the reason I bought it is, again, if you look at this one, it looks a lot like, it makes me think a lot of, again, those Sig Max high definition brushes. And this one is super dense. It's denser than the e.l.f. one, it's denser than the Gotta Be Urban one. I don't know exactly what it's called because it is gone from the website, but it's awesome. I love these two brushes. I reach for them all the time. The reason I'm sharing those two with you, even though you can't really get them right now because they're sold out, gone, I don't know if they're getting them back because they were on clearance. I'm telling you about them because if they do happen to get them back in stock, I don't know if they will, but if they do, I did want to, say that they are definitely very good brushes and you should give them a try. One thing I really want to say about Coastal Scents is I've purchased several brushes from Coastal Scents, and I've have not been disappointed. The thing to do with on Coastal Scents is to make sure that you're reading the reviews. All of these brushes I've bought there so far, at least the ones I'm talking to you about today, have gotten fantastic reviews. They are good brushes and they're really good prices. The only catch is you do have to order online. The other facial brush category I want to talk about is the stippling brush. I only have two that I can share because my other stippling brush is from Sigma. This one is from Sonia Kashuk, and obviously you can get this at Target, and this one was $12.99. It's not exactly super cheap, so I bought it because it had gotten good reviews, but I did hem and haw over buying it for a while because it was $13 and I didn't think that was that cheap. But it's definitely a lot cheaper than some stippling brushes out there that can run you upwards of $30. I did want to say that I saw, while I was kind of looking and doing research for this video, I saw that Coastal Scents has one. It's basically called the Coastal Scents stippling brush. It has a black wand, and it's $6.95, and I'd be surprised if it's not a good brush. So if $12.99 is too much, maybe consider the Coastal Scents one for $6.95. Another, I bought this one. You saw this in a haul, I think last week or the week before, and this one is, again, you might recognize the design. It is from e.l.f. and this is the small stipple brush. So that's what a normal one looks like, that's what a small one looks like. e.l.f. makes a large stippling brush now. I think this one's a little bit better quality. The handle for mine on this kind of is wiggly, but I don't know, I like them both. They work quite well, and if you prefer to apply products with a stippling brush, or you would like to try a stippling brush, there are some options for you. I'm going to talk about a concealer brush as a face brush, because even though you apply it to mostly to your under eye area, you do apply it in other parts of your face, and I feel like concealer is part of creating a flawless canvas, and that is your face. I wanted to talk to you about the e.l.f. Flawless Concealer brush. I've used it a couple times and I really like this a lot. I think it's I've never used the big Sephora one that I think that this is a dupe for, but I think this works beautifully. It is not your typical flat top concealer or flat concealer brush. This one is really great for blending. So you can take your concealer, apply it where you want it with your fingers, and then blend it out using this brush. And the finished look is, I think it looks really nice. It looks incredibly flawless, and for $3 you can't go wrong. Alright, so that's really pretty much going to do it for my affordable face brush recommendations. I want to say that if you happen to see a brush in one of the affordable brands that I mentioned, like Essence of Beauty or Studio Tools or something along those lines that I didn't mention, I'm not mentioning it because it's not a good brush. I'm not mentioning it because I don't have it, so I don't really know much about it. So that's it. So if I missed any makeup brush type in a brand that you were curious about, feel free to ask a question below. I'll do my best to answer it if I know the answer. If not, I can't help you, but if I know the answer, I'll do my best to respond. And stay tuned for the next installment, which will talk about affordable eyeshadow brushes or eye makeup brushes.